it's me, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the giant carnivore Torvosaurus. Let's get into it. Torvosaurus tanneri is a species of theropod dinosaur from North America. More specifically, it comes from what is now the western side of the continent. It has been found in the Morrison Formation, a layer of sedimentary rock that dates to the late Jurassic period, roughly 150 million years ago, and by far its most famous occurrence is in Dinosaur National Monument. The genus Torvosaurus was first described in 1976 by James Jensen. It's a relatively young genus. The name itself means great lizard or large reptile. In Latin, Taurus is a big or great, and saurus refers to lizard or reptile. The species was named after the paleontologist who discovered it, Charles Tanner. Tanner was an amateur collector who collected fossils in Utah during the early 1900s. He sent some of his finds to the Carnegie Museum, where they were identified by Jensen. He is also responsible for the discovery of the Holland-type specimen, which is the specimen used to originally describe the genus. This specimen was discovered in 1942 in the Split Mountain Formation, which is a part of the larger Morrison Formation. This particular formation is located in the Split Mountain Wilderness area of the Green River, just outside of Dinosaur National Monument. Although the original description was published in 1976, the species had actually been discovered a few years prior. During the early 1900s, Jensen was able to identify a few additional specimens from the Carnegie Quarry and Dinosaur National Monument. While he didn't find any complete individuals, he did find a few large teeth and a maxilla. These remains were housed in the Carnegie Museum along with the type specimen until the early 1990s. In 1992, they were transferred to the Utah Geological Survey in Salt Lake City, where they remained today. Those remains from the Carnegie Quarry are the only remains of Torvosaurus that have ever been found inside Dinosaur National Monument. When Torvosaurus was originally described in 1976, it was estimated to have been around 30 feet long and 800 to 1,000 pounds. However, more recent estimates put its length somewhere between 33 and 39 feet and its weight between 450 and 2,000 pounds. So as you can imagine, it was quite a bit bigger than the mighty T-Rex. Another estimation from 1988 suggests it may have weighed up to 2,700 pounds. If that estimate is accurate, it would make Torvosaurus the second heaviest carnivore that ever lived, coming in right under sea. Torvosaurus was the largest predator found in the Carnegie Quarry. In fact, it was one of the largest predators in the entire Morrison ecosystem. At the time it lived, North America was home to a variety of huge carnivores. But unlike other large theropods like Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus, the remains of Torvosaurus are surprisingly rare. While in modern times, Dinosaur National Monument is known for its incredible collection of preserved fossils, it wasn't always like that. In the early 1900s, Dinosaur National Monument was a hotbed for paleontological activity. Amateur fossil collectors flocked to the area to search for their own prehistoric treasures, and among them were some very notable professional From 1909 to 1915, the fossil collecting team led by the Carnegie Museum unearthed thousands of fossils in what is now called the Carnegie Quarry. This quarry was located near the town of Split Mountain, Utah, and thanks to the hard work of those paleontologists, it is now considered to be the most complete Jurassic fossil site in the world. When the excavations wrapped up in 1915, the quarry had exposed a massive cliff of rock containing hundreds of fossilized bones. Over the years, the cliffs have eroded away, and the quarry has turned into what we know today as the Wall of Bones. In the Quarry Exhibit Hall, over 1,000 fossils from the Carnegie Quarry are on display. Out of these thousands of fossils, most of them belong to herbivorous dinosaurs. One of the most recognizable portions of the wall belongs to Diplodocus, a huge herbivore that once roamed the Morrison ecosystem. It is represented by at least 50 individuals, making it one of the most common dinosaurs in the quarry. Also on display are the bones of Stegosaurus, Maiasaura, and the armored Boreapelta Mark Michelli. But what about Torvosaurus? Its remains were initially found at Dinosaur National Monument during the Carnegie Quarry excavations. Why then are there no bones of Torvosaurus left on the wall of bones in the quarry exhibit hall today? Well, according to paleontologist Rebecca Hunt Foster, there is a record of a single Torvosaurus vertebra having been found during the Carnegie Quarry excavations. That vertebra was extracted and shipped to the Carnegie Museum of Pittsburgh. However, the Carnegie Museum has since traded that Torvosaurus vertebra to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science in Colorado. As of 2025, the original Torvosaurus tanneri vertebra found at Dinosaur National Monument is still with the Denver Museum. While there are no visible bones in the quarry exhibit hall, there are actually a few other Torvosaurus fossils stored in the park. According to Hunt Foster, the Dinosaur National Monument Paleontology Lab contains a Torvosaurus scapula, another shoulder blade. That specimen was donated to the park by the Utah Geological Survey. In addition, there is also a Torvosaurus tooth stored in the lab. That tooth was originally collected from the Split Mountain Formation by the BLM paleontological technician Dave Hone. So even though we don't see them on display, Torvosaurus really did live here. And not only was it a very large dinosaur, it was also very powerful. While studying its skull in 1979, John Longwell noted that its jaws likely allowed for a bite force greater than Tyrannosaurus. Keep in mind that Tyrannosaurus has one of the strongest bites of all time. If that other carnivorous dinosaurs were trying to hunt the same prey as Torvosaurus, they would need to do so cooperatively. This is because Torvosaurus could easily kill any of them if they tried to steal its food. As I mentioned earlier, Torvosaurus was discovered during the Bone Wars, a period of intense competition and discovery that took place during the late 1800s. This era of American history is considered to be a pivotal moment in the field of paleontology. It started in 1869 when the first federally protected fossil beds were established in the western United States. Following this, rival fossil collectors began combing through the American West in search of new discoveries. The Bone Wars continued until around 1905. During this time, the two most prominent collectors were Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh. Their rivalry became so intense that each man would sometimes destroy the other's specimens out of spite. Despite the rivalry, many new species were identified. Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, Maiasaura, and Camptosaurus were just a few of the many dinosaurs that were scientifically described during this time. However, one theropod was found in 1880 and described much later. In 1880, O.C. Marsh discovered a large theropod tooth while excavating at Ghost Ranch, New Mexico. At the time, he didn't feel it was important enough to identify. It would be nearly 100 years before the tooth was finally classified and named. It was determined to be a member of the family C. Megalodon. It was also determined to be too big to belong to any previously identified species. In 1979, it was given its own name, Torvosaurus tanneri. Today, we know that Torvosaurus tanneri was just one of several kinds of large predatory dinosaurs roaming late Jurassic North America. However, despite its size, its remains are much more rare to find than those of other predators in the Morrison ecosystem. Scientists aren't exactly sure why this is the case, but it is possible that the Morrison ecosystem just couldn't support as many Torvosauruses as it could. Smaller predator. Other predatory theropods of the Morrison ecosystem included Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus. While all three of these dinosaurs lived at in the same time in the same habitat, Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus were both smaller and less beefy than Torvosaurus. They also seem to have been more abundant, with Allosaurus being easily one of the most common and well-known large predators of the late Jurassic. If you enjoyed learning about Torvosaurus, please remember to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, question everything, and stay informed. There are so many fascinating discoveries waiting to be made, and with your help, we can continue to explore and learn about our world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.